Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Rikakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth and who rule well. Peace and citations unto the Akim that is spread around the four corners of the earth, spreading this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Quatas Sayan from the GMS Holland branch, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai with another lesson, with another video. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. So in this lesson, I want to go into an article that I came across, which is from NLtimes.nl, and it reads, it's from the 21st of February, 2023, and it reads, garbage piles up in Amsterdam city center on first day of strike. In the city center of Amsterdam, the amount of trash on the streets quickly increased on the first day of the garbage collectors' strike. Mountains of garbage bags could be seen on several places, including Ouderzijds, Voorburgswal, Zeedijk, Damstraat en Jodebreestraat. FNV union leader Fred Bos said that about 500 people are participating in the strike. This is about half of the municipal officials who were asked to participate in the strike in Amsterdam, he said. That is based on an estimate by the FNV and the municipality, said Bos. I had thought there would be a few more, but we hear that there are many freelance employees with the municipality who don't dare. Gone. So basically, this article is about how they would go on a strike in February, and they had a strike for one day, and immediately the garbage already piled up. And the plan was that they would have a strike for a week. But as I was Googling this, then I read this, which was the next article the next day. And this is from DutchNews.nl. And it reads, deal reached on bin collectors' pay, ending rubbish strike. So they would go on a strike for a week, but after only one day, they already made a deal, you see? Because the waste was so much, that they had to cut a deal with these people, with these employees immediately, Otherwise, sicknesses would come, and illnesses, it won't be livable for people. So reading this article, local government unions and employers have reached provisional agreement on a new pay deal for bin collectors and council wardens, clearing the way to end the current wave of strikes. Rubbish collectors are currently on strike in Amsterdam and were to strike in Den Bosch and Maastricht from Wednesday. There were earlier strikes in The Hague, Utrecht, and Rotterdam. The local authorities association, VNG, has now agreed to a 240 per month pay increase for all staff, plus a 2% rise across the board. Local government workers will also get an extra day off this year, and May 5th will be an official holiday from 2024. So I'm going to skip that. The important part was this. Amsterdam finance chief Hester van Buren, who helped broker the deal, said she was pleased a deal has been reached. The strike is at an end, but has made everyone in Amsterdam aware of how important these people are for a clean, safe, and livable city. The cleanup in the capital after 2 days of strikes will take some time, she said. You see, only after 2 days, these people were already um, making deals with the employees because they see that shit was getting out of hand, you know. Otherwise, it won't be clean and livable for the people. And this is an example.
Day 3 of the garbage workers' strike. Day 3 of the garbage.
You see? So this is an example of what will happen, for example, in the time of Jacob's trouble, when there's going to be no one to clean the streets, when there are not going to be employees that are going to be running and cleaning the place up because money won't have any worth anymore. You see? So we have been teaching that if for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for 1 month, if everybody would stop cleaning, the trash, and if all the sewers will get clogged up, the people that clean those things up, those pipelines are going to overflow, you know, which is going to cause sicknesses and illnesses to come in a country. You see? And the scriptures speak about that. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel 7. Verse 14. Point is in 15. This is Ezekiel 7, verse 14. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. Gone. So who has blown the trumpet? The watchmen of Israel have blown the trumpet. The prophets, the ones that have the vision through the inspiration of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that is explaining what is going to happen to the people, especially to the nation of Israel, and also these other nations that need to hear the judgment that is going to come from the Most High. So we have blown the trumpet, but nobody made themselves ready for the battle. How do you make yourself ready? As it says in the book of Ephesians 6, you have to put on the breastplate. Let's go to it real quick. This is Ephesians 6, verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. You see, that's that battle that we're making ourselves ready for. You see, we are girding up our loins. We are putting up the whole armor of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai so that we can withstand in that evil day. Because what does the scripture say in Isaiah? Isaiah 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. You see, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. So when you have armed yourself with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High, knowing what times you are going to go or getting into, knowing what is going to come on our path, that's going to be the stability that you need. People that are in darkness, they are going to be swung to and fro. You see? Because when these afflictions come, you are as a house. Let me see if I could find that scripture real quick. I think it's in the book of Matthew. Bear with me. Bear with me for a second. On Matthew 7. This is Matthew 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. You see? So all these winds and floods and um, winds and floods and rain, those represents the afflictions, the things that you're going to have to go through. But ye are founded on a rock. You are solid. You have a good foundation. You're not going to be swayed left and right. Verse 26, and every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. You see? So like we just read, Isaiah 33 and 6, stability. So that's why the scripture popped into my mind, because you need to be as that house that's founded upon a rock. You have to be firm, stable. And what is that stability? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. If you have these words, you hear these words of the Most High, these are red letters, so it's the words of the Most High through Yahushua, through his Son. If you have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you are going to be stable, just like that house. You see? So when these times come, when these pestilences are going to come, these sicknesses are going to come, you are not going to be swayed in your mind. Because what does the scripture say? Matthew 24, verse 7. This is red letters, so this is Yahushua speaking. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Nation against nation means race wars, just like how you have that in Suriname right now. For example, you have these, now you have a Elamite president over there, and the Jakes are feeling the heat. The Jakes are, hungry. They are poor, even more poor than a couple of years back when they would have a so-called Jake, not a so-called Jake, a so-called black president, which is a Jacob descendant. They weren't feeling it like how they're feeling it now, how their enemy is in that rulership seat, that Elamite president, which is called Santuki. Let's see if you see this picture. Yeah. So this is the president in Suriname right now, and the majority of the inhabitants of Suriname are so-called blacks or Native Americans. Because you had the so-called Native Americans, that were already living in Suriname, Gadites, Reubenites, you have the Arawak, the Caraïbe. Those are the tribes that were also in Suriname, were already in Suriname. So when Columbus came, in our history, they say he came, and he came with 3 ships, which are the Nina, Pinta and the Santa Maria. Yeah, so Lord willing, I can find an article to further expound on this. But going back, so this guy is the new president in Suriname, and the tensions are heating up between the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans of Suriname, and this guy. You see, because this nation is one of our enemies, the Elamites. So going back, Matthew 24, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, which is country against country, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So the famines, that's food shortage, and pestilence, which are sicknesses, and earthquakes. You already know about the earthquakes. There are earthquakes daily right now in diverse places all over the earth. You see? So these are the plagues that the Most High was going to send upon this place, Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra 15, verse 49. And it reads, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. You see? So the Most High said he would send plagues, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses. So all this is coming upon the earth. That's about to be brought upon the earth, So bit by bit, the Most High is making that transition, that these plagues are being made manifest here upon earth. Little by little, he's not doing everything at once, little by little. So if all these things would happen at once, then the Most High, let me grab that scripture real quick in the book of, I believe, Deuteronomy. It's not that. Let's see. Exodus. This is Exodus 23, verse 29. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. So this was in the time that we would come to take over the land of Jerusalem, which before time was called, or before that was called, the land of Canaan. Verse 30. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee until thou be increased and inherit the land. You see? So the Most High is doing this little by little. Bit by bit, he's making the prophecies come to pass. You see? Verse 31. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Gone. You see? So now the Most High is doing the same thing. Little by little, he's letting these prophecies come to pass. Little by little, he's increasing us. The remnant is being made pure. You see? Everybody has to go through that purifying process. Also the elect, everything can't happen in one time. So little by little, he's increasing us. He's making us perfect. And also he's bringing these plagues and prophecies to pass. So going to the last scripture, which is in Ezekiel. Salakia. Now let's go to Jeremiah. I already read Ezekiel. Oh no, I didn't finish it. This is Ezekiel 7. This is Ezekiel 7, verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. Meaning, in the city, there's going to be pestilence and famine. Because why? In the city, you have all these farmers, or the farmers, they come to bring their vegetables and greens and goods into the city, you know. But in the time of Jacob's trouble, in the time of trouble, in the evil time, the city is not going to be supplied, you know. All the storehouses are going to be empty. And the pestilence is going to roam, which the pestilence is sicknesses, you know. People are going to stop working. Everything is going to be clogged up. Nothing is going to be working properly. So pestilence is going to manifest itself. So pestilence and famine are going to be within the city. He that is in the field shall die with the sword. Gone. Because you already see, if you go into certain people, it says don't trespass, no trespassers, otherwise you will be shot, you know, things like that. So when people are going to venture into the field, which represents the land, you know, if you might see a tree with some oranges and stuff like that, but it's on somebody's property, you know, people are going to die. People are going to get shot for coming onto their land, you know, and trespassing on their land. You see? So he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. You see? So that was basically the point of this lesson. You know, all these things are going to come upon the earth. And the Most High, He already forewarned us, you know, by giving us this truth and making it known unto the people, you know, blowing the trumpet. So these things are going to come to pass, and what you just saw with that article is just a glimpse of what is going to happen. And also, this is also a article about the train wrecks, you know, the planned train wrecks. Because just like how the Most High is doing everything little by little, the Most High also puts it in Esau's mind to sabotage his own empire little by little, you know. He uses gradualism. So this is another article from Independent, what is it? From Independent, and it reads, second train derails in Ohio, weeks after East Palestine disaster sparked health concerns. You see, that's the topic that I'm speaking about, the health concerns and pestilences, sicknesses, illnesses. The train is the third to derail since the disaster in East Palestine, Ohio. It's also from the 20th of February. Another train has derailed in Ohio, this time in Delphos, a small city approximately 88 miles southwest of Toledo, near the state's west border. Law enforcement in Delphos was notified around 12:45 a.m. on Sunday that a train running through the center of the city derailed near a grain elevator, according to your hometown stations. The train toppled a pair of electric poles and shut down several intersections after it jumped the track. There were no reports of injuries, and it does not appear the train was carrying any hazardous substances. The area was cleared by the Delpos Fire Department on Sunday afternoon. The community of East Palestine, on the opposite side of the state from Delpos, is still dealing with its own locomotive-related disaster. On the 3rd of February, a Norfolk Southern train derailed near the village of East Palestine. Fires threatened to ignite the vinyl chloride the train was carrying, prompting railroad and public safety officials to vent and burn the gas, causing widespread concern that the region had been dosed with toxic chemicals. So, I'm not going to read all of it, but the thing is, these toxic chemicals that are being spread or being, how should I say it, deliberately derailed or leaked from these trains, these are causing imbalances in nature. Water is going to be contaminated. Fish, I think this this article was also going to speak about it. Let me just read it. Cleanup continues in the village are as residents report rashes, coughs, headaches, and burning, itching eyes. EPA reports say the air and water thus far do not pose a long-term threat to residents, though many living in the area question the agency's assurances. You see? So they say that has no long-term effect on people, but you can't trust it, devil man. You see? Everything is being contaminated, So this also causes sicknesses with people. And this is also through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because he puts it in the so-called white man's head or mind to do these type of things. Sabotaging his own people, sabotaging his own country. So these things are going to come and going to happen even more and more. So, this video is edifying, and I want to say Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Reka Kodash, Shalom Akim.